Well, good morning, everybody. Today we are going to hike up Mount Olympus. Mount Olympus is a 9,000 some odd foot peak in between Mill Creek Canyon and Big Cottonwood Canyon. It's one of the prominent peaks along the Wasatch Front. And today we've got Zen with us.
Hello.
And Doug. And Raven, of course. So this hike is close to 8 miles round trip. It's about 4 or 3.8 or something up and back down. So this hike will have a fantastic view of Salt Lake Valley pretty much all the way up. And when we get up to the top, of course, you can see the Wasatch Mountains in both directions, and it should be pretty clear later on today, so we should have a really nice view once we get up there. So we're going to get going, and I'm going to take all of you along with us. So this section of trail that we are hiking on is actually part of the Bonneville Shoreline Trail. The Bonneville Shoreline Trail is a trail that runs from up north, and it basically follows the old ancient shoreline of Lake Bonneville. And this is a relatively new addition to the trail systems here in the Wasatch Front. And they connected this to the Mount Olympus Trail several years ago. And I came across it last year, and I figured we would take this trail. It'll loop back around and meet with the Mount Olympus Trail here in about half a mile. Well, this is where the Bonneville Shoreline Trail goes. This way will take you around Mount Olympus and you end up in Olympus Cove. This way over here will take us up to the Mount Olympus Trail, which is where we are going to go today. Oh, we're starting to get some sunshine. It's kind of cloudy and rainy this morning, but it's supposed to clear up and be real nice this afternoon. This is where the Bonneville Shoreline Trail runs into the Mount Olympus Trail. If you go down this way, which we're going to do on our way down, this will loop us back around to the parking lot. But we're going to be taking this route up here, which heads up to the mountain. So here is the stream crossing. Good place to water the dogs, kick back and relax. It's usually nice and shaded in this area most of the year. And on this trail, this is kind of the popular place that most people hike up to. They'll hike up here, turn around and go back down. We, of course, are going to continue up the trail to the top, but we're going to take a break here. So we left the stream and we are working our way up this head wall. This is kind of one of the steeper parts of the hike. There's a lot of switchbacks here, but this will take us up to the shoulder of Mount Olympus, and we'll have some really nice views up there. So we're getting pretty high up. I don't know if you can see the trail down there. Good view of the city. It's still pretty cloudy, but that's been nice. We've got a nice cool breeze coming down from the mountain. And that's kept the temperatures down. Spiked up to 92 in the city yesterday. Today, it's in the upper 60s, which is pretty nice. It has been about 30 years since I have done this hike, and I didn't always remember that there was another stream, but apparently there is. Especially on this year where we had so much snow. And up there, swirling in the clouds, is the south peak of the Twin Peaks that make up Mount Olympus. So we've finally gotten high enough to where we got into the pine trees. And it is really lush and green up here this year, pretty much like it is all over the Wasatch. The winter we had this last year has been really beneficial. Lots of greenery. Well, this is sure looking nice. The clouds have finally cleared up. Lots of sunshine and we've been kicking back down here at the saddle. There's a couple of nice little camp areas here. If one wanted to hike up here and spend the night, you really could. It's a really nice flat area. Some nice trees, great views all around. But we are going to continue up here. So we are almost to the top, but we've run into this rocky area and the dogs can't get up. The summit's right up there. I'm not sure what we're going to do here. Going to have to lift them, it looks like. So if you decide to bring your dogs up here, you're going to have to lift them up some of this stuff. It's a little bit rocky here. I am not sure if the dogs are going to be able to make it up this rocky area here, which means this might be as far as I'm going to go today. I've got Zen with me. He's probably at the top by now waiting for me. If I can get him to come back down, I'll have him hang out with the dogs and I'll scramble up there to the peak and make sure I get some footage. Because, yeah, I don't think they're going to be doing this. I already had to lift them up 3 or 4 rocky areas, so. Now, I'm not complaining about the view here, because when you turn around, this is our view, which is quite nice. So Zen went up to the top and made it back down here, and I'm going to leave him with the dogs because we got to this spot I was talking about earlier that they really can't get up. But I want to go up to the peak, and I would like to take all you guys up there too. So Zen's going to watch the dogs. They're going to hang out here, and we're going to do this hike. Yeah, so what makes this kind of sketchy is just the exposure. So keep that in mind. This area down here, it's a little steep. Well, we are pretty close. That is our objective right up there. So we have some more rock scrambling to do here. But it is just outstanding out here. Oh, look at that. All the clouds are still on the north-facing side of that ridge. All right, so we're going to head on over and continue up the trail. It's pretty easy to follow. You can see it's really the only way to get up here, and it's pretty well worn. This right over here is the northern peak. There's, two peaks to this one. We're not going over here today, though. We're just going to come up here to the south peak and call it good. Here we are officially on top of the south peak of Mount Olympus. I'm going to sign the notebook here in the box and look around for a few, and then we're going to head back down. And of course, I'll also film that. So I was expecting to find a notebook in here, but instead there's just lots of little notes, pieces of paper, business cards, cloth something or other. Couple pens. Well, all sorts of stuff, Well, guess I'm just going to have to scribble my name on this piece of cardboard. We'll see if I can find a spot. This mailbox probably ought to get replaced. Looks like they've got it attached to these two weights here, probably to keep the wind from blowing it away. I can just imagine how the wind can be up here sometimes. Yeah, this is pretty impressive up here. This area down here, this is Neff's Canyon. And then over there is Mill Creek Canyon. And I've done a bunch of videos about Mill Creek Canyon. We're going to hike up Neff's Canyon one of these years. Probably this summer. So about 30 years ago, in my younger days, I did an overnight hike where I came up this canyon you're looking at below here. This is called Hughes Canyon, and it's a pretty primitive canyon. These days they have a developed trailhead, and the trail's been somewhat improved going up it. But back in the early 90s, there was somewhat of a trail, but it was, you'd get up to a certain point, and it was just kind of following the creek and working your way up where you could. And I spent the night down here, and the next day I hiked all the way up to that saddle right there, and I dropped into a drainage called Norse Fork, which eventually joins Neff's Canyon and comes out at the Neff's Canyon Trailhead, which is up above the Olympus Cove subdivision. But this is some pretty nice country and really rugged country. It's absolutely spectacular. I could sit up here and look at this all day. So we're going to work our way back along the ridge here and back down to the trail and to Zen and the dogs. Yeah, it's a bit of a boulder field up here. To be negotiated carefully. And this definitely wouldn't have been good for the dogs. They're troopers, they would try, but I don't want them to get hurt. quite a few people out today coming up here. It's a great day for it though. Ideal. One of the nice things about it is it's been relatively cool today. This hike, a lot of people think because it's high up in the mountains that it's a good one you can do when it's 100 degrees in the valley, and you know, you end up having a real tough time because a lot of this is exposed and gets pretty hot, especially towards the end of the day like today. But on a day like today, perfect. And there they are. We have this last chute to go down. I don't think I'm going to be able to film much of this. It's a little, kind of requires two hands. So we're back down where we took our lunch break here, and we're going to head on down the trail to the truck, and I'm not going to film any of that. But I hope you guys liked coming along on this hike with us. This was a really nice day to be out. There were enough clouds coming through the sky and the wind was blowing just enough to keep things interesting. So we were hiking with Zen today. Zen, what did you think about this hike?
I think it's an amazing hike. I've done a lot of hikes in different places around the world, and it's just amazing. Like right here in the backyard of where I grew up in Salt Lake City is this amazing, epic little wonderland. So this has been an amazing experience. Wonderful day.
So what you're saying is you liked it?
I liked it a lot.
All right. So we're going to wrap this video up and start the hike down. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did like this video, give us a thumbs up. And I would sure like to take you along on more of these adventures. So think about subscribing if you haven't already, and you can come along with us next time.